So in one of our last normal coverage videos of Season 1 Reloaded here, I want to talk about some of the leaks that came out as of this update. Every single update, no matter what, there's always going to be something that's in the game files that's associated to something coming off in the distance, a little further on down the line. It's just the way that dev works, in that Modern Warfare 3 and any other COD game and other games are often months ahead on planning and asset production. So in order to make it work, there's always going to be some sort of breadcrumb trail for the future. Today, we're taking a look at the surprising number of leaks that actually happened with this Season 1 Reloaded update, more than I honestly anticipated. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoy, and make sure to subscribe for more Modern Warfare 3 and other FPS related coverage. I'd love to have in the community. Finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for 10% off your next order with code ESPRESSO, but more on that a little later. For now, let's jump into it. So first and foremost, a few housekeeping items. Number one, all items in this video that are discussed are leaked, so while some assets do exist, I won't be featuring them in the video at all for precautionary measures and safety reasons. Don't want to have a DMCA or copyright strike and deal with all that. If you're interested, the information is sourced from leakers Ford Leaks, Semtex Leaks, and COD Warfare Forum. All of their links are down there in the description below, where you can scroll through for yourself if the items are still up as the time of publication. And number two, as with all leaks, take all of this with a grain of salt. Leaks like this, as we mentioned, are small breadcrumb trails of things to come in the future, and as such are just a snapshot in time of development. Things very easily could be adjusted, changed altogether, or maybe entirely scrapped in the coming weeks to months, leading to when they were initially meant to release. So things are subject to change. But while nothing is guaranteed, track records with data mined content do prove to be more accurate than not. So at some point, you may be seeing some of, if not all of this stuff here discussed. But anyways, let's talk about it. Let's talk about some more stuff that is on the immediate future before we get into future seasons. Firstly, we saw that on top of what we have right now with the Boys crossover, there's actually 2 additional weekly events here upcoming. One starting as of this Wednesday, the next the week following. But you have the Boys Soup Siege and the Boys VOT Week coming within Season 1 Reloaded and leading up to Season 2. Now, the Boys Soup Siege is actually the one that was previewed in the blog post talking about Season 1 Reloaded, where we learned about the challenges and some of the stuff coming along with the rewards, but you're also going to see a blueprint reward, that one that was previewed for the TAC Eradicator. It's going to come with that 150 round mag, and the overall blueprint itself looks pretty good. Now, the next week following that is the VOT Week. Well, right now, we don't know if that's going to be challenge-based or XP-based, but it is going to reward players with another universal camo, as we see with the camo available right now. So 2 camos out of the next 3 weeks, so make sure you earn those if you guys are at all interested. And then further out, whether in Season 2 or Season 2 Reloaded, Season 3 maybe, we're actually supposedly going to have a new collaboration with Warhammer 40k, which is a rather interesting one here that is going to be pretty cool for those that are diehards of it, but also it might be a very brand new introduction for a lot of people that aren't familiar with that. So that'll be cool to see how that all works out. There are also more King Kong and Godzilla updates for executions and stuff, so we might be seeing that later on down the line as well. But let's talk about Season 2 now at this point. Right now, we know that Season 2 is looking to be Task Force 141 themed, with skins for Soap, Farah, Ghost, and Price. And the operators coming along with this season, whether it be in Battle Pass or in the shop bundles, are Cal, Judo, and Bike, with Laswell being in the files too. Recently sort of leaked or teased also in an official COD promo, so maybe Laswell is one of those operators that is coming here for the Battle Pass, kind of as the architect of 141 in that sense here, getting in on that action. Weaponry on top of the weapons we've already seen leaked before, we now see the new PM9 pistol, and also assets mentioning the sword and a bow. And again, that's on top of the already leaked weaponry like the Anvil B for Season 2, the Advanced Warfare rumored weapons for Season 3, and other stuff beyond. So a couple of more to add to that list here. Then we've also seen mentions of the attachments of the chainsaw underbarrel aftermarket part, so that'll be an interesting one to run around the battlefield with, and the tack knife returning for the first time in a long time. So that'll be one that is pretty fun if we can end up getting our hands on that. There were new camos of Disoriented, Fading Breath, Noxious, Thanatos, Vehement Rage, Harbinger, Ceaseless Agony, Topo Stone, Topo Spirit, Topo Ooze, and the Making Heroes Super weapon camos. The Making Heroes Super is that other additional camo that we'll see for the Boys event, but the other ones, those were added in terms of asset names. Some were found with actual images associated with it. You can see some of the pattern itself. But as for how those will be introduced, we don't know. That could be something that's very easily a part of a new weapon upcoming, where you have 4 of those base camos alongside each weapon. They could be a new event camo. They could be a new reward camo of some kind. We don't know, but there were that handful of additional camos added with this update. Talking a little further content, maps, we know of a couple actually here that were mentioned in the game files as of this update. Firstly, DOS House from Vanguard looks to be returning, so another very small map that is great for grinding stuff out. That looks to be returning, which I'm all for so long that it doesn't take away from any of the original content. I really did enjoy the fact that this season was really all about original stuff here in regards to what we have with playable area. But if we can get like 3 original maps and a 4th one that is bringing back DOS House, I'd be okay with that. There were mentions in the game files of more carryover maps from Modern Warfare 2. We already saw things like Shipment, Shoot House, Farm 18, and stuff like that. But apparently we're also going to see Greenberg Hotel and Zaya Observatory coming over at some point. Whether that be in Season 2, Season 3, we don't know. I'd imagine sometime in Season 2 though. But then also there were new mentions of additional war maps of Operation Avalanche, Operation Exodus, and Operation Cusca. Now, with there being 3 of those, and with these being something we didn't see one at all within Season 1, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting all 3 of these, and those are the only additional war maps we get for the rest of the year. 1 in Season 2, 1 in Season 4, and 1 in Season 6. That would make sense, logically speaking, but I mean, I'd be all for more in the future, but just based off of what we've seen so far, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the entirety of the year's offering for war right there. Then we also learned about some new gameplay elements, not necessarily just content. One was mentioned of a new vest of the Ninja Vest, and that's one that honestly I'd be all for if it is something that's coming, depending on how that's balanced, because one of the big things that I love is obviously having the ability to have my stealthy playstyle where I have those covert sneakers, but at the same time, unless you're running infantry, unless you're running the running sneakers, it's not something that you can end up getting that sort of speed boost effect or faster running speed. I like to play a little bit more run and gun, a little bit more mobile, and I don't like the non-infantry, non-running sneakers, the movement speed with that. So if you can end up having the Ninja Vest that you can end up getting that, plus having the ability to end up running something that increases your attack sprint speed and duration, I'm all for that. For Warzone, it looks like the weapon trade stations that we saw initially within Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep, and then ultimately in Caldera. And did they make it over into Al Mazrah ever? I don't think so. But anyways, the weapon trade station looks to be returning at some point. Again, whether that is in Season 2 or later on down the line, we don't quite know, but it was referenced in the game files after this update. Zombies, the containment level, or rather exfil streaks, is probably better going to be known as. That was something that looks to have some progression here that may be coming in Season 2, maybe 2 Reloaded, Season 3, sometime in the relatively near future, but still uncertain. That, again, being those sort of bonuses that you get anywhere from 1 to 10 if you complete a contract and exfil successfully. You'll end up coming into your next game with whatever bonus that exfil streak grants, giving some nice little easy bonuses. Again, the only times I think I've ever died was the very beginning of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, whenever I just went into like a zone I should not have with like a 1 plate, no additional armor, no perks or anything like that. And then the only other 2 times I've ever died was just simply because I crashed. That's the only reason I would have lost my exfil streak. So these are going to be insanely free, I think. At least that's the way that I see it. But then moving along a little further, we had additional modes leaked out here with this, where firstly, Horde Point is going to be something that's returning. That is going to be Hard Point, but instead with zombies as well. We saw this last within World War II, and it was an incredibly fun mode. So looking forward to that coming back. I will say I'm very curious to see how this plays in this game, because notably COD World War II was before the matchmaking system that we have right now, which the big discussion on Modern Warfare 3 overall is that it seems like the skill-based matchmaking, retention-based matchmaking, whatever you want to call it, is ramped up to 11 out of 10. So if you have sweat lords going into the hard point, plus you have to deal with zombies, it might not be as fun as it was in World War II, but if it is something that can recapture that, or it's an LTM that has less strict matchmaking like we often see happen with these kind of things, that'd be kind of fun to play around with. We also saw more 24/7 playlist leaked of DOS House 24/7, Grease E-Meat 24/7. Yeah, that's a name. Meat House 24/7, Rusty Meat, Rusty Shipment, Ship House, Ship Meat, Shoot the Ship House, and Shoot the Ship. So a lot of 24/7 playlists for these grind-worthy modes, and they definitely know what they're doing with some of the naming. And the final thing we'll wrap everything up with in terms of the leaked content was what was mentioned as Warzone Season 2 air quote quests, with the associated names of Dragon, Vault, Hallway, Locked Room, Cursed, Race, and Sandbox. There's nothing more to that, so out of context, I think it brings up more questions than answers, but maybe we see a couple of Easter eggs introduced with Season 2? I guess we'll see. But anyways, that is all of the leaks that we saw out of Season 1 Reloaded and what we can look forward to out of the future here now with a bit more of breadcrumb trails pointing to that future. So anyways, before we wrap everything up, make sure to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for what I firmly believe are the best blue light glasses on the market. I've worked with these guys for nearly 3 years now and cannot recommend them enough. They're the most lightweight, comfortable, and durable frames on the market as far as I've used, and I definitely think that they've helped my daily productivity. Full transparency, yes, they are a bit more of an investment, but I do think that your vision is absolutely worth investing into, especially if you're like me and you're looking at a monitor, phone, or you're gaming for a good chunk of each day. If you guys would like to learn more, at the very least, I'd recommend checking out their website where they can better break down the science and all specifics way better than I ever could, but what I can personally say is that in the time I've used them, I'd highly recommend them. So if you guys want to learn more, check the link in the description below, and if you'd like to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso to get 10% off your entire order. But that said, that's going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. Any of these leaks stand out to you? Anything that you're interested in learning more about? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it, and make sure you subscribe to stay updated with all things Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and other FPS content like X-Defiant, the finals, and more. We got you covered here on the channel. So love to have you in the community, but for now, thanks so much for watching. My name has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.